Hey, welcome to the Kingdom Finance series right here on the Kristocentric station. And this whole month, we're talking about something different, something intriguing, something that is bound to bless you. For the whole month of July, the Kingdom Finance series and the Financial Evangelist will be talking about the financial lessons from the parable of the rich fool. So without much ado, I'd like to welcome to the studio the Financial Evangelist. Good morning.
Hi, good morning to you, Edwin, and good morning to our cherished listeners all over the world who make time every Wednesday at 11:30 to join us on this Kingdom Finance series. I have been blessed by the things God has been teaching us on this platform, and I believe that our viewers, our listeners are also being blessed as well. I always say that the Bible is a manual not only to help us in living a life spiritually strictly, but also it has very valuable lessons for other important aspects of our lives as believers, especially when it comes to business and finance. The Bible has a lot of lessons to teach us in that regard. So last month, I think we did a series on multiple income streams, which I believe that you have learned a lot from that. So rightly, Edwin has already informed us that in the month of July, we're going to do a special series on the parable of the rich fool, and we're going to pick out some very important lessons from business and finance. If today is your first time joining us, listening to us, watching us, this session, Kingdom Finance series, our focus is on business and financial lessons. Business and financial lessons. It is important for me to say that so that somebody will not wonder who is in the studio, what is he preaching about, why is he talking about money, he's talking about business, and all that. So this is what we do every Wednesday here on the Kristocentric station on Kingdom Finance series. So the parable of the rich fool, as we all know, is found in the Luke chapter 12. When you read from verse 13 to 21, the story is well captured there. And the whole background is that one day Jesus was teaching very powerfully, especially bringing out some of the hypocrisies of the scribes and the Pharisees. He went ahead telling the people on the need for them to confess Christ before men wherever they find themselves. In the middle of the sermon, there was a gentleman who came to Jesus. And apparently he was having a problem with the brother after their father or parent had passed away. I think some people wanted to claim some of the stores at Kantamantu and then go ahead to pick some of the houses at Adjringano and East Legon, all in their names, forgetting that they were siblings and that the property had to be shared equally. So there was fight. And then the way he saw Jesus preaching very powerfully, he said, no, Jesus could be a very good arbitrator. Let me just go and see him so that at least he has authority, he has power, he's been doing miracles. Perhaps he could use his authority to help, settle this case. So I can also get some houses and properties in my name, which our father left behind. So Jesus had to stop the preaching briefly and then address the concerns of this man. And then he asked the man, I am not a trained lawyer. I didn't go to Makola school. I didn't go to KJT, school of law. I am a preacher. That's what God has made me, and I want to focus on my preaching. But though distracted, Jesus was wondering how people could be so much determined when it comes to properties, houses, cars, and things, and money, to the extent that even though Jesus was preaching, the young man's mind was not on what Jesus was preaching. His concern was about how do I get more cars? How do I get more houses? How do I get more money? And Jesus, was just dumbfounded. And he, usual of his style, his characteristic way of preaching, he picks up on circumstances and situations around him, and then he uses that to drive home his message. So Jesus then made a very important statement, which is in Luke chapter 12. You read that from verse 15. He says, and he said to them, take heed and beware of covetousness, for one's life does not consist in the abundance of things he possesses. Take heed and beware of covetousness, for one's life does not consist in the abundance of things he possesses. So Jesus made this statement in relation to the man who came to him to help him arbitrate over the property or the inheritance that he had to share with his brother. Then, after making this statement in chapter 15, Jesus went ahead to tell a story. A parable for that purpose is basically a story that is created to illustrate either a religious or a moral lesson. So Jesus told a parable of a rich man whose farm had yielded plentifully, and as a very successful agribusiness entrepreneur, he realized that the harvest was so massive that his existing warehouse could no longer, hold the new harvest. So he had to get laborers and get people, professionals to, break down the old barns and build a bigger one that could contain the massive, plentiful harvest that he had gotten from his agribusiness. Then he went ahead planning further for the future and looking at all the big storehouse he has now, and then the things that he's been able to store for himself. He said, okay, now I have everything stored. I have enough money. I have enough grains. During the lean season, I can sell and make a lot of money. My family is sorted out. Everything is fine. All I need to do now is just to enjoy, relax, drink, make merry. And then just tell my soul, relax. You have enough investment. You have enough money. You have enough resources. You don't need to worry about any other thing. Then we are told that God appeared to the man and told the man that you are a fool. Why would you be talking like this as if, there is no God anywhere? And then Jesus concluded the parable in verse 21 by saying that, so is he who lays up treasure for himself and is not rich towards God. Now, the statement of Jesus in Luke chapter 12, verse 21 basically tells us that you could lay up so much for yourself, investment in properties, in buildings, in houses, in stores, in warehouses, in businesses. You could build so much for yourself that sometimes you look at yourself and you even ask yourself, why am I working again, Charlie? I have enough money. I've made enough money. My children have grown up. They are running their businesses. I've educated my children at the best universities in the world, from Harvard to Princeton, to University of Ghana, to here, to Ashesi. I'm sorted out. I don't need to bother myself. I don't need to worry over all these church people and their wahala. Let's go and pray. Let's do fasting and all that. If I don't pray for the next 10 years, I'll be okay. If I don't fast for the next 30 years, I'll be okay. Because I've gathered enough money. I've gathered enough resources. I am okay. That was a language the rich fool was using, and God has to tell him that that's a very foolish way of living your life. The fact that you have enough investment and financial resources stored up for you for years doesn't mean that you are secured. As far as money is concerned in this life, there is nothing like security. The recent rains in Accra even taught us a very important lesson. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw big, nice, beautiful, lovely cars in the rains, in the floods, and being washed away. People's motorcycle that they never joke with, just being taken away by the rains. They couldn't take the rains to court. They couldn't fight the rains. They virtually could not do anything. Nice, beautiful houses were swallowed up by the recent floods in some major parts of Accra. And you ask yourself, why do we really put our confidence and our faith in these things? When these are things that, will be here today and tomorrow, they are no more. But anyway, that's a reality of life. What are we talking about? The dangers of covetousness. Luke chapter 12, verse 13 to 21, there are about five solid topics I'm going to be treating throughout the month of July. And the first one I want to look at is what I titled The Dangers of Covetousness. The dangers of covetousness. So Jesus uses the word covetousness in Luke chapter 12 verse 15 when he was addressing the man who had come to him to share property. And Jesus used that word in comparison to the quality and the value of our lives. He says that the value of our life does not depend on the car we drive. Yes, and I'm sure that some of you will be wondering, what are we talking about? Because some people, their favorite cars, when they have to go to the mechanic to go for some servicing and things, it's so hard for them to leave it, because that's the car that when they sit in, it's like they're on top of the world. That's the car that when they sit in, their spirit is very high, and they cannot just imagine, At times when other people even have to use that car, as the people drive the car about, their heart is not at peace until the car has returned back from wherever they are taking it. So people are attached to their car, they are attached to their nice houses, and they sometimes cannot just believe that they have to leave some of these houses one day. So covetousness, as Jesus used, we need an explanation for it and what it means. So first of all, let it be established that covetousness is a heart condition. It's a condition of the heart. It has nothing to do with what you have and what you don't have. Number two, covetousness is a restless desire for more money. Restless desire for more money, for more achievement, for more success, for more fame, for more houses, for more cars, for more properties, to the neglect of the most important things in life. So what it means is that when we say you are covetous, it means that, so for instance, let me take it practical. You work in a bank, you work in an insurance company, you work in a ministry, a church, you work in a school. You love your work, you are dedicated to your work, and you're working so hard so that you climb to the top of your career. You want to rise through the ranks to become a manager, to become a supervisor, even to the top, becoming a managing director of the company or the executive director, whatever it is. Now, because of that desire of working so hard, meeting the expectations of your boss, pleasing your boss and doing so well, the desire has gotten so much into you to the extent that now you don't show up in church. You are so zealous about excelling in your career to the extent that now you don't have time for your family. You are so zealous about your career to the extent that now you don't have time to help any other person. You are so zealous about excelling in your corporate career to the extent that now you don't have time to pray. The desire to excel in your corporate life has been so consuming that you don't have time for any other thing in your life. That is what you call covetousness. When the desire for something becomes excessive, you have drained into the arena of covetousness. So covetousness is an excessive desire for money, for achievement, for wealth, for properties, without considering the other valuables of life. Now, there is nothing wrong with having dreams, ambitions. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is when the desire for those dreams and ambitions take the center stage of your life, such that you do not have time for any other thing in life. So the problem arises when a healthy desire becomes an unhealthy obsession. You are so obsessed about your job, you are so obsessed about money that you don't care whatever you do to get money. If you have to kill to get money, you will do it. If you have to sleep with people to get money, you will do it. If you have to lie, blackmail people to get money, you will do it. Because you are so obsessed about becoming wealthy and becoming rich. That is what you call covetousness. Anyway, so having introduced the subject, now let me tell you six basic dangers of covetousness. Number one, when you are covetous, you lose contentment. Paul in Philippians chapter 4 verse 12 and 13 says that I know how to be abased and I know how to abound. And in all things I am able to serve God. When you are covetous, you don't understand the word contentment. Covetous people don't understand the language of contentment. They are always looking for more, and they will kill for more, they will lie for more, they will cheat for more, because the more they get, the more happy they become. And as long as they are in a position when they are not getting more, they are not happy in life. They are dejected, they are sad, they are worried, because they are at a place where they are not getting the enough that they are looking for. And now the other danger of contentment, as I explained, is that discontentment creates a position where you don't see the goodness of God in any situation. So someone who is not content forgets that He used to be in a single room and now he's in a 2-bedroom house. Now the 2-bedroom house looks nothing to him or her, because when he looks at his current state, when she looks at her current state, she thinks other people are better than him or her. So discontentment is very dangerous because it doesn't allow you to honor God, it doesn't allow you to please God, and it doesn't allow you to see the glory and the goodness of God in your life. Blessings that used to bring joy and now feel ordinary. You used to fast and pray so much to get the opportunity to work in this company. Today you talk to your boss anyhow. Today you behave anyhow because you have access to salary and other opportunities. You've even forgotten it took someone to have the job that you have now. Number 2, danger of covetousness. Covetousness creates a distorted value for you. Covetousness creates distorted value. Now, what that means basically is that people who are covetous don't value the things that are important in life. Their values are distorted. So people who are covetous think that money is more important than life. People who are covetous think that status is more important than life. So they are celebrities, they are popular people, and they will use their positions of influence to molest other people, to abuse other people, to bully other people, because possessions and status become more important to them than treating other people like human beings. Number 3, danger of covetousness, damaged relationships. Covetousness also leads to damaged relationships. Now, what do we mean by that? When people look at you and they decide what they want to do with you or how to relate to you based on the money you have, it is a manifestation of covetousness. So young ladies are looking for men who are financially resourceful to marry them. So they are not marrying because they love the concept of marriage and they want to marry. They are marrying because of covetousness. They are marrying because of car. They are marrying because of houses. They are marrying because of properties. That is what we call covetousness. I am marrying you because of the things you have. I am marrying you because of your fame. I am marrying you because of your popularity. And then there are people also who treat you based on the things you possess. I usually love to live my life in a very simple way. I've been to places where I just, go as a normal person, and then I'm treated in a certain way. Other times you go to places, you drive big car, you come out of your car, people see you and they salute you. Yes, sir, master. Yes, sir, master. Sometimes you walk into offices, you are dressed casually, and the receptionist looks at the way you are dressed casually and thinks that you are nobody. So that's what we're talking about, covetousness. And that's why from the beginning I mentioned that covetousness has nothing to do with how much you have or what you don't have. It's a condition of the heart and the state of the mind. When people are covetous, they are always looking at what they will gain from you or who you are before they treat you well. Number 4, spiritual drift. I love this. 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 10. For the love of money. There are people who are driven by love of money. When it comes to spiritual things, it's about love of money. So there are pastors in churches who have respect and honor for those who pay tithe and offerings. People who give big monies in church. They respect and they honor them and they treat them well. Those who are struggling to even give offerings and things, some pastors don't regard them. Those are covetous pastors. They will respect you and honor you and give you platform and big seat in the church because you have a lot of money and resources. Now, spiritual drift also means that people now shift their attention from their relationship and their trust in God into money and valuable things. So there are people who used to be Christians, who used to believe God and trust God. Now they have money, they have houses, they have cars, they are well educated. So now their security is no longer in God or trusting in God. It's about their status, it's about their education, and it's about the things that they have. That's covetousness. Number 5, false security. False security. Psalm 20 verse 7. Some trust in chariot and some trust in horses, but we will remember the name of the Lord our God. False sense of security because they believe their future is secured because they have accumulated enough money, enough resources, enough networks. It's a matter of just picking a phone and calling someone and everything is sorted. That force of security is driven by a sense of covetousness. So if you're listening to me, and because of how famous you are, how popular you are, the monies you have made, the lawyers you know, the accountant you know, the doctors you know, you have shifted your trust from God. I want to remind you that you can go to the best doctors and they will still not be able to heal you. Healing comes from God. If you think that you have enough money so you can treat people anyhow and do whatever you want to do in life, I want you to understand that money cannot save you. Money has limitations. There are things that money cannot do. So let your trust be in God. The best medicines are as useless as anything without God. Number 7, eternal blindness. Matthew chapter 6 verse 19 to 21. Jesus says, build your treasures, lay up your treasures in heaven, not on earth, where moth and rust will destroy them. Lay up your treasures in heaven. Then he concludes by saying that where your heart is, that is where your treasure is, that is where your heart will be. So eternal blindness, what does it mean? Eternal blindness basically means that some of us have even forgotten that there is a place called heaven and there's a place called hell. Because we have been to churches where the kind of sermons that are being preached is like, we're just created to live on earth here. When we die, that is all. We drink, we dance, we clap. When we die, that is the end. There is nothing after this life. But I want to remind you this morning, heaven is real. Hell is real. We all give account of our lives on earth here after life has ended. So this morning, I've shared with you 6 dangers of covetousness. Number 1, losing contentment. Number 2, distorted values. Number 3, damaged relationships. Number 4, spiritual drift. Number 5, false sense of security. And number 6, eternal blindness. Over to you, Edwin.
Wow, so many amazing points. You just mentioned damaged relationships. As a believer looking to, raise their level or do better in life, isn't it inevitable that some relationships will be damaged? For example, you had old friends where you used to be who had a certain mindset, but now you want to change or mingle. They'll say that, bad company, destroys basically good morals.
Yes.
If you want to move from that bad company to another company that's going to help you, isn't it inevitable that those relationships will be damaged?
Okay, so the Bible says that evil communication corrupts good manner. 1 Corinthians 15:33.
Yeah.
And then Proverbs 13:20. He that walks with wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will be destroyed. So that is a Bible injunction. We are supposed to obey the Bible. So when you obey the Bible, you are obeying God. Yeah, so if a friend is leading you away from God, you have to drift away from that friend so you can stay closer to God and serve Him. The friend may not be happy with you, but you are pleasing God. We are supposed to please God. The kind of damaged relationships we are talking about here is more of transactional relationships, treating people based on money. So Edwin has land.
Yeah.
I know I have 20 lawyers I can easily call. Edwin has land at a place I'm interested in. All I need to do is to take Edwin to court and get these lawyers to defend me. I can get the land from Edwin because I have the money. I have the lawyers.
Okay.
So I don't care how Edwin feels, what happens to him. I need his land. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Damaging relationships because you think that you need more.
Wow. Another question that I really have. So, how do you know when you have moved from ambition into covetousness?
Yes, I like that question. I think everywhere I make this presentation, people ask this question. That is what is the smartest question. I give you an example. If when I was making the presentation, that your workplace, you've just been employed. You need to impress your boss. You need to meet up your KPIs so that you can be promoted. Is that not it?
Yeah.
Earn bigger salary, given a car and other opportunities. Now, it's a good desire. God wants you to be at the top. You shall be the head and not the tail. So it's not a bad idea at all. But if because of that, you are not reading your Bible. You don't pray to God again. You don't relate with people the way you have to relate to them. You have even neglected your own family. No time for your husband, no time for your wife, no time for your children, no time for fellowship. You are now on your own because of that obsessive desire to climb the corporate ladder. That's covetousness. So because of money, because of position, because of house, you have lost everything. You have become covetous. So you can have big dreams and big ambitions, but once you are in the center of God's will, you're okay. You're not covetous.
Do you think that the explanation of covetousness by, by some Christians has caused some believers to accept mediocrity, to be content with being average instead of being exceptional?
Okay, very important question. Thank you for that. If you notice what I do on this platform, you realize that I change topics month by month, and I also try to balance what I teach. It's intentional. Yes. So if you notice, covetousness is one thing I've not exclusively treated until now, even though we're almost getting to 6 months since we've been doing this. It's because we have had problem in the church where our pastors don't teach sound doctrine. We take one. Poverty is not good. Poverty is not the will of God. You must be rich. You must make it. The world must know that you serve a living God. We take it extreme. So people don't mind what they have to do because they must show that their God is rich. So you sleep with anybody, you get the money. After all, the next day you can go to church and ask for forgiveness. You go and steal people's money because you know that the grace is the grace to cover you. You can go and ask for forgiveness. You do anything to get the money. That's extreme. Then the other one also says that, hey, I don't want to backslide. I don't want too much money. Too much money will make me backslide. Me, I just want to manage my life. I don't want any too much blessings. So let me not worry myself, pushing myself to do this, starting a business and do all that. No. Those things, they will take me away from God. Me, I just want to wake up in the morning and serve God and sing, play gospel songs, be in my room, worship and serve God. I don't want problem. That's another extreme. We are supposed to stay in the middle. You see, we are supposed to stay in the middle. So I have preached on this platform why you need multiple income streams.
Yes.
But look at me here today. I'm talking about covetousness because I need to create a balance. So the lack of balance in the church, that is what is causing the problem you are talking about. Our pastors are not preaching the message well on how you can be rich and righteous, how you can be in the center of God's will without falling apart. It's the sermons we've been preaching. So let's go back to sound doctrine. Let's teach people that they can be rich, but let's also teach people that they can do the right things and get rich.
Yeah.
Let's also let people understand that when they are rich, it doesn't mean that they should abuse people who are poor. So we must balance the narrative.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's no need taking extreme positions that I don't want to be covetous because I won't work hard. So you are in the workplace. You are not treating your boss well. You are missing deadlines. When they give you assignment, you are not doing it. Every day your boss is complaining about you. They have even reduced your salary because of your non-performance. You are embarrassing God. Push hard. Please your boss. Be happy. Well, every month when they are reviewing their performances and all that, your name should come to the top. They also show up at rehearsals. Show up at church. Do evangelism. Don't go too much to one side and then forget about the other side. You must be balanced.
So, at which point can a believer, after amassing, wealth, can they say it's enough? Trying to go beyond this level is no longer about ambition, but it's just about me being covetous.
No level is enough. In fact, first Philippians chapter 3, verse 12 to 14, Paul said, I press forward toward the high price of God in calling in Christ Jesus. I press forward. So we must constantly be pressing forward. There's no level that you stop. What we are saying is that what you have now, when you wake up in the morning, kneel by your bed and be happy that you are living in a 2-bedroom house. Be happy about the car you are driving. Stop going through town and be looking at the latest models of cars, 2026 registered cars that people are driving. Be happy in the car you are driving. Be excited about it. The work God has given you, they may not be paying you well, they may not be treating you well, but be happy that this is an opportunity you have now. Also to earn money and help and support other people. That's what we are saying. We are not saying that don't have bigger dreams. I have written about 5 books on goal setting. So when it comes to dreams, big and ambitions, you can't take my name out. But I understand what it is to be content about life. To wake up in the morning and look at your children and be happy that God has given you children. Because people at your age are still not married. Yes. Many of us even take it for granted that we've been to university. There are people who have had dreams that their greatest dream will be to go to university and they've not been able to do it. Some are over 60 years today and they still regret it. Be happy about what you have. Once you are happy, keep on pushing. We are not saying don't push. So we say be happy and appreciate what you have and keep pushing. So the dreams and the ambitions, they are not supposed to be out of our lives. But we must pursue them with a sense of gratitude. Not with a sense of guilt, showing other people that we have arrived, or proving the point for other people to know that we can also make it. No. Gratitude, and then you pursue it.
Wow. You just made so many amazing points, and we've been talking about the lessons from the parable of the rich fool. Wow. Covetous. So if you're watching this right now, all the points that the financial evangelist has stated, you need to listen over and over and over again, because it's so easy to cross the line from ambition to covetousness, to think that yes, I'm trying to get more and trying to grow, but you are just being covetous. You are not being grateful. All the points that have been stated today, they're just so much of a blessing. Sadly, we'll have to draw the curtains on this episode of the Kingdom Finance series with the financial evangelist, and you can watch all. We have 15 episodes so far. 15 episodes that you can watch on all our platforms, specifically YouTube. So go to the Kristocentric station YouTube channel and watch every single episode from the beginning to the end, and I tell you, you will be blessed. I want to say a big thank you to the financial evangelist for making it today, and he'll be back same time, same place next Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. GMT. My name is Yeboah Edwin Teacher, and you have been listening to the Kristocentric station and the Kingdom Finance series. Stay blessed. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You're listening to Gospel Jazz.